Now this is what we got so far. I gotta get some hamburger buns now. Kaiser buns? I think they're too big. Wow, $5 for that. Crazy the price of food in this country. It really is outrageous. Okay. Might as well buy the fresh baked stuff. It's the same price. Okay, so we gotta find some. Oh, here. There are these Kaiser buns. Full wheat. Oh my goodness. Here we go. We'll get these. I guess we were looking at that. Oh, we'll get them anyway. And there's crusty buns there. I'll get these. These are good. Alright. Okay. I think that's it. Yep. Our list. So finally, get out of here. Oop. Where the hell is she? Can't see her.
Attention service desk 201.
Here she comes. Okay, we're gonna go through the car. Everybody, we are back for episode 7. Episode 7. So I'm going to go through this. It's very simple, and we're going to make the best hamburgers in the world.
Damn.
Yeah. Of course, that's my opinion. But we're going to certainly show you how to make a really good burger, for sure. Okay, so over here we have a celery, and I'm going to chop this up very, very small, and we're going to show you that. We've got to wash everything first. And then, of course, spring onions, mushrooms, getting a little bit aged, but still usable. Of course, garlic, and this is medium ground beef. The reason why I don't use the real lean stuff is because you need some fat, right? It makes it more palatable. Is that a word? It makes it more flavorful and easy to break into, whereas a really lean burger is sort of hard, you know. So the vegetables will be chopped up really small, and then we will incorporate those into the beef. And I don't use any kind of binding, and I'm going to show you a trick on how to bind your burger together without using eggs or bread or anything like that, flour. It's much nicer. So we're going to use we're going to use
that.
Well, what is that? paprika, ground paprika, and then that, and then we're going to use cilantro leaves and ground black pepper.
Which is the best kind?
Yeah. No, wait, what it is. And we have a disagreement on which is. I like black pepper though.
Black pepper's the best.
I like green pepper too. So, anyway, let you think about that one. So we're going to be back, and we're going to incorporate everything together, and then we're going to roll our hamburger.
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm rolling on out. Guys, we're back, and I'm going to show you what I do to sharpen my knives. So I got a little bit of a sharpening stone here. A little bit. It's a chunk, I guess. A block. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Lee's on camera.
Yeah.
So here we go. Now, I go this way, and it's very effective. So if you go another way, if you are a person that uses a sharpening block, then you have a different way, that's fine. But this is effective for me. So here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I count out about 15 and see how sharp it is. That's pretty good for what I want. I have no real rule for this. Now, probably a person that does this for a living is probably going, "Ah!"
At least it works.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do a test. And
3,
here's the
2,
test.
1.
Nice.
Error. So that's good. We're finished. Now we're going to, I've already chopped this up already. So that was a garlic right here, a whole clove. And I'm chopping it up, and I'm going to make it smaller than that, but I want to get everything down to that size. The celery, the mushrooms, and the onion, and then I'm going to chop everything up. So just quickly, I'll demonstrate getting it down to that a relatively choppable size for what I want to do. Now you might use a knife differently and go crazy with chopping, but I'm more cautious. I'm not in a restaurant. And I always say that. I'm not in a restaurant, so I don't need to lose my finger. And of course, if you're in a restaurant, you don't need to lose your finger either, but you're under more stress, very high stress in a kitchen, and you got to get things done in a timely manner. But here, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut this into slices. And yeah, I'll just go this way. And that's good enough for now, because I'm going to make everything smaller. Oopsie. So let's see, we'll just go, we'll cut it in half, it's easier. Do that later. And then I'm just going to make pieces like this. So I can do one more. There we go. And from there, I didn't cut the ends off because I want to hold it, be able to hold it together. So now I'm going to make my smaller pieces. Keep your fingers away from the knife. Always move your fingers back out of the way. So that's that. So there's our pieces. And now what the next step is, and I should have a bigger cutting board for this, but throw that in there. The next step is to chop it all up. So I put my fingers on top here to keep the knife stabilized. And there's a hole here, you could use that, but I use the handle. I don't want to have my fingers near the blade at all. And I use the handle, and then it's chopping, just like that. So you're pivoting. You're pivoting. And of course, you're going to get some on the floor. It's like a bullet in a gun. It's just going to shoot out. Now you can gather up the stuff that fall on the table, but don't include the stuff on the floor, please. You never know. There's people that do that. Pick it off the floor and
Yikes.
yay. It's not good. There's no such thing as that 5-second thing, you know, for bacteria.
Yeah, of course, because the moment it hits the ground.
The moment it hits the ground, it's going to pick up some microorganism or parasite.
Remember, you walk on that floor.
Yeah, if there is anything, it's going to be a magnet, right?
Yeah.
That's why you keep your counters really clean. And your cutting boards, of course, and your knives and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And your hands. You want the pieces small. Now, if you have a food processor, you can do that. I like doing everything with a knife. I stay away from most machines because I can do everything with a knife. Oh, and by the way, if you're thinking, why is his glasses over his ears? Because my glasses are hurting the side of my head. I guess I got to get new glasses and get them adjusted. So I find a little bit of relief the way they are right now, but it's not because it's a new style of wearing glasses or anything. So what's going on in your life these days, Lee?
Nothing much.
Yeah, study?
Yeah, about it.
Okay, I think that's good. I'll just continue doing it so we don't bore people. And I got more to do. And we're going to incorporate this into the ground beef. I'm not sure yet how to compare my amount of ground beef with this. You want enough, but you don't want to overdo it. So maybe a little bit more, and then for the amount of, hold on, I'll get out of camera here, and a little bit more for this, so you can see the proportions. All right. It depends on how many burgers you're going to make. So I suspect I'm going to get maybe 4 burgers out of this. So that's it. We'll get back to everybody in a minute. Here we are. We're back. I've finished chopping up the vegetables, and what I've done is used 4 cloves of garlic. I've used 1 sprig of onion and half a stalk of celery. And I used 3 of the 4 mushrooms, and of course I ate one.
Ah.
Okay, so now we're going to go over and we're going to saute this in butter and a little olive oil to release the flavor. So here we go. We'll just put a dab of oil and put a dab of butter. add this in. You don't want to cook it too long, just to release the flavors. We're going to put in, yeah, just for flavor, and that should be enough. Gotta go fast here, so. And there you go. That much? Half a teaspoon?
That was half a teaspoon.
I don't know. And whatever you want to use for this dried cilantro, it'd be nice to have fresh stuff. Okay, and the paprika, which will give it a little bit of color. And that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to do this one here. There we go. Stir it around. That's all you have to do. You don't have to cook it long. Smell it. Beautiful. Yeah. So let me get a bowl. There we go. We're going to take this out of here and we're going to let it cool. There we go. Clean it up later. So there's our product. And we'll be back to incorporate this. We're going to let it cool. We're going to incorporate it with the beef, and then we're going to roll. Okay, this is the final step. And wash your hands really well, which I just did. So we have our sauteed vegetable mixture here. And we're going to put in the medium ground beef. There we go. And we're going to mix it up. Now you can use your hands if you want. I might end up doing that. Because it's more better, actually.
Yes, of course.
And a
Because
spoon.
mixing with your hand gives out, like, you get to knead it better.
Yeah, you need it. Squish it together.
More flavor.
And that's what I'm going to be doing. There. So, here we go. I hate the feeling.
I love the feeling.
No way.
I do.
Alright, anyway, has to be done. You want to incorporate everything nicely in there. The vegetables, of course, sauteed vegetables will give lots of flavor with the spices to the hamburger. And also you're putting a little bit of fat back into the meat, which is good. You don't want to do it too much because the meat will stiffen up. So that's good enough. Good enough. Now, what am I doing here? I'm trying to get it into a shape without putting it out on the board first. So I want an oblong shape. So
Is that the preferred shape?
well, yeah, because you want to it's a good question, because you want to have a what do you call it? You want to be able to make burgers, right?
Yes.
So you want to just well, I'll explain it to you in a minute why we're doing it this way. So let me get rid of that. And put a cloth under your cutting board so it doesn't slip. And it's just like what you're doing is you're almost making pizza dough, in a sense. So, or if you ever made jelly rolls or any kind of roll, this is what you do. So you're rolling the meat. You don't have to press down too hard. Bring your ends together, keep rolling it till you get a nice uniform shape. Take a few minutes, but it'll eventually get there. Now, what you're going to also think about when you're doing this is how big you want your burgers and how many. So, is this going to be good for us? Yes, this is about the size we want. And what is that? It means when I want to, I'm not going to make patties. Like, that's why they're called patties, because you pat them together, right? I'm not going to do that, because what that does is it makes the hamburgers hard. And you want to handle it as little as possible. So once you've rolled it, you want to just leave it. And it will bind together because we're going to put the magic powder, salt. And the salt will take out the moisture, which will also bring in the flavor. So by taking out the water, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be trying to accomplish here. So now I got to measure this and say, okay, how big are we want our patties? Well, how many do you want? 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 maybe, right? 2, 3, 4. So right about that, a little bit more over here maybe. So yeah, we got enough here for 4 nice sized patties. Well, they're not patties, but burgers. Okay. So this is the size I want right here. I'm not going to play with it anymore. Now, give me a second. I'll wash my hand and we'll be right back. Just finished washing my hands, and now we're going to apply the salt. So you want to just take it with your fingertips and just sprinkle it evenly across as best you can. If you got a salt shaker that works well, you could probably use that. Don't forget the ends, so just pat it on there.
Don't use too much or too little.
Yeah, you try to use the right amount, which is just coating the meat with the salt, right?
Yeah.
The idea here is to let the salt extract the water, the moisture. You have a more condensed burger, more flavorful burger this way. And then when you're cooking it, you're not cooking off water. Alright, so I think that's good. Just maybe a touch here. There you go. We're all set. Now, I don't have a rack because I don't usually do this. So I'm going to try to apply it to my strainer so the juice, if there is any, will just drop down. Now I'm going to go back and turn that to make sure it keeps its form. But once it sits in the fridge for a couple hours, it's going to remain there. It's going to keep its form. It's going to be cooled also. So I had my fingers in here. I'm going to throw this away. Now, we take this and we put it in the fridge. You don't want to cover it because you want the air circulating around it. I should have took that out first. Okay. There we go. Hold on a sec. Put this down here. So there it is. It's going to stay in there for a couple hours. and we'll use it after that. So I don't know, I might leave it in for more than a couple hours. A couple hours, if you really need it, is good enough. So we'll see you when we're ready to make burgers. We're going to start to finish up what we did hours ago, and that is this. You see how solid it is now? It is pretty well solid. So that's a good way to do it. And make sure your hands are really washed well. I did that, and of course Lee is
Yeah.
saw me do it. There's no lying about that, right?
I have
You know
seen
me,
it.
I was washing my hands like crazy.
Fanatic over here.
Alright, so I'm going to roll it out a bit more. And it is pretty solid now. It's like at least 50% more solid than it was before. So, nice and solid. Now we're going to measure. So, one maybe. And this is not 100% yet. Can you see that?
Yep.
And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. We'll get maybe 5 out of this, unless we want to make them bigger.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. This is serrated, and you want to go easy. You don't want to use a regular knife, because if you just press down, it's just going to misshape everything. So you want to sort of saw back and forth. It's not really hard to cut through, it's just delicate.
Awkward.
Yeah, it's delicate. Here's one. We'll get the other butt in. I'm not pressing really hard, I'm just letting the knife do its work. Putting a little bit of pressure. There's 2. There's no padding, so they're not patties. Basically, maybe you want to call it a steak, and then, you know.
If you want.
Mm-hmm. Another one. They hold together nicely. You can fry them up like this, or you can shape them. I'm going to shape them a little bit more. And then...
Yeah, it needs a bit shaping.
Yeah. There we go. Sound effects. So there's our pieces. So I'll shape one. I'll do a good one. They're all good, but some are different a little bit. So I'm going to take the edges and maneuver it that way. So there we go. That's nice, right?
Yep.
Now you can fry that up right there. Or put on your barbecue or whatever you want to do to cook it. We have a grill, but it makes a lot of smoke. So we're going to just use the fry pan. So now I'm going to squish down from the top. Like that. Turn it over. There we go. Back to, you know, just mold it till you get the shape that you want, the thickness that you want. Okay.
That's good.
And there's no, it's not really like, you know, patting it. It's just delicately squishing, putting pressure on it to get the shape that you want. All right, so I think that's good.
Yep.
There's going to be shrinkage, of course. So you have to measure your bun also. And our buns are Kaiser buns, so that's the size. I don't want to touch the bag. Can you just, if you can, manage? Yeah, so it's perfect.
Yep.
There we go. They're going to shrink some, but it's okay. So if I want to do a little bit more squishing later, I can. So stop playing around, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a while. So I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy sauce using cornstarch. And we're going to use mushrooms. So this is going to be on our burgers. So starting off, get your mushrooms ready. Taking off the old ends. So various sizes here, but it doesn't matter. Variety. So I'm slicing them up. That's a good size. They're going to shrink. These will be a little bit thicker because they're smaller. And there we go. So throw this in the garbage and add this to here because we're going to bring it over to the cooking area. But before I do that, I'm going to get this prepared. So the cornstarch, I'm going to have to adjust it as I go, depending on how much sauce I want. But I'm going to start off with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and if it's too thick, then we will thin it, and if it's not thick enough, we will add more. If I have it now. There we go. 1. This is water, just plain water. 2. There we go. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce for flavor and color. I'm going to add...
No.
I got to get another spoon. Over here we go, over there we go. Okay, so I'm going to use about that much. And the last thing we add is a little bit of black pepper.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit. And stir it around. Cornstarch, once you've stirred it around, it will, if you leave it sit, it'll sink to the bottom again, so you'll have to stir it again. So I'm going to add more water. And that's the consistency I'm going to get. And then I'll thicken it up. So we'll be right back with the cooking. We're going to saute these mushrooms, these brown cap mushrooms, in butter and olive oil. Could be hotter, but that's fine. It'll get there.
So how long do you usually saute?
Not long. If it was a gas stove, it would be a couple minutes. But because it's electric, who knows? I hate electric.
Me too. It doesn't leave off a big film as well.
No. Nothing like gas. Clean. It's quick and easy. And it's cheap. It's not that expensive.
No, sadly, the long.
No, you can have gas. But it has to be, yes, but it has to be properly installed by a gas company. Natural gas. Okay, so just like that. So get hot. Okay, so keep going. You notice the oil's all gone? The
Yeah.
mushrooms soak them up. But it'll release it. Once it starts cooking, it'll release it back out once the water's gone. They certainly won't burn. And you see they're starting to lose the whiteness?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's showing that they're cooking. I don't like overcooking mushrooms. I love eating raw mushrooms for one thing. So overcooking mushrooms is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's good enough. And I'm going to turn the heat off because the next step is to put our slurry in. And you don't want to overcook cornstarch because it will lose its thickness. The more you cook it, the worse it gets. So here we go. I'm going to pour it all in there, and if I have to, add more cornstarch to reduce it a little bit. So we want to turn the heat back on now. I'm so used with gas, you know, off on, but I keep forgetting that with electric you gotta give it some time, right?
So how long do you usually?
This?
Yeah.
Well, if it was boiling already, it'd be almost instant.
Huh.
Well, we have to get it up to a boil. And it depends on how much cornstarch it needs to thicken up. So once it starts boiling, it'll be fine. You just get the cornstarch in case I have to add more. You can see it's starting to thicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darken.
Let's see how thick it's going to get. Should coat the spoon. It's coating the spoon. It's not what I want yet. It's working nicely. Okay, so we're boiling now. So we turn the heat off. Nice. See the way it coated the spoon? Nice. That's what I want right there. And now that it's going to cool, it's going to thicken more. With cornstarch, it's not the same as a roux, which is butter and flour. A roux always gets better in the sauce the longer you leave it cooking, but cornstarch you can't do that. It's not the same. But if you want something quick and easy, cornstarch is there. That's why they use it in Asian cooking a lot, because you make a slurry or a gravy, if you want to call it, quickly. With a roux, it takes a little bit more time, but you get the flour taste out of it. That's what you're trying to get. Cook out the flour. Right? Okay, so it's ready. The next thing we'll be doing is cooking up the burgers that we made. So we'll see you in a minute or two. So our filling for the burger will be cheese and lettuce. That's it. We're not going to put anything else on. And our condiments will be ketchup and mayonnaise. So I'm going to just chop up the cheese and you determine the thickness that you like on your burgers. How many pieces you want on yours? How many pieces do you want on yours?
Oh, two.
Two?
I'm not a big cheese person.
2 pieces?
I think that's good enough. Or is it not?
Okay. So 1, 2,
3.
I think that's enough.
Yeah.
You want a piece now?
Yeah.
Okay. There's your piece.
Thank you.
And one for me. Good enough. So, lettuce next. Let us do the lettuce. Taking the core out. My technique. It's like carving a pumpkin. Take that out. Sorry. Okay, so how much lettuce do you want on yours?
3.
3? Wow.
I like lettuce.
All right, that's good. Good for you. I'll just rip it. How about that?
Okay.
And then we'll put it on. Do you want it on this way, or do you want me to cut it up?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, whatever you want.
Whatever you think's best.
All right.
You're the chef.
That's good enough. I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
There. That's it. So I'm going to wash the lettuce, and we're all set with their filling, whatever you want to make. What do you call it anyway?
Got no clue.
Innards. Yeah, that's really appetizing. Yeah. So we'll be back with the cooking of the burgers. Okay. So down here we have our patties, or burgers. So we're going to cook these up. I've already shaped them. Look good, eh?
Yeah.
All right, our come on over here, Lee. Our pan is getting hot. So I'm going to add them in there. Doesn't have to be, I don't want it too hot because they'll just cook too fast. So we're going to place them in and gradually bring the temperature up. And I'm going to flip them over as many times as possible. I don't do that one side 10 minutes and 5 minutes or whatever sort of rule.
If you flip it more often, it brings the flavor out more than just leave it.
It also cooks it more evenly.
Yeah.
So dishes later. Okay. Also, it's a good idea to cover your burgers, and they cook better that way also. But right now, I'm just getting them up to temperature, and then we'll go from there. Get mine. Oh, yeah.
They smell pretty lovely.
Turn it down now. That crackling is water coming out, I guess. These are really well seasoned, and also they are, there's no water, hardly any water. I guess there's some water moisture in there, but most of the water has been taken out, so they're really dehydrated.
Yeah.
So more flavor, a lot more flavor. So I'm going to cover them up, and then I'll just keep turning, uncover, turn, uncover, turn. So, politics. What's going on in the world of politics or history? So we're going to talk about history also.
Yeah.
History
Do you
and
have any
politics, they go
topics?
together well.
You have any topics?
Well, there was an elderly man arrested by the Ottawa police for honking his horn, and they treated him poorly. The elderly man, really, and a small little guy. and they manhandled him. He could have had heart problems. He could have had. He looked frail, and they just manhandled him.
They shouldn't be treating anyone like that, especially the elderly.
It's on video. It's on the web. It's appalling. It's appalling. And then you wonder why the police get called Nazis. So, communists for sure.
Yeah, but how do communism and Nazism mix?
What? Well, totalitarian regimes, right?
Yes, but different beliefs.
I'm not saying the beliefs, it's the control, right? The control aspect. Were the Japanese communists? No. Were they Nazis? No. But they were imperialists, right?
Yes.
So even an imperialist is Nazi, and that's what Canada is. The monarchy, the Queen. Look at the atrocities that the Queen, not Elizabeth II, but who knows what she pulled off. They'd be in secret, right? But prior monarchs, what the things that they did to each other, and very bad, and did to the people.
Yeah, I agree.
So no ruling party is free from corruption and atrocities. And it still goes on today.
Yeah, it's worse now.
No, I wouldn't say it's worse, but it's really bad.
Oh man, the whole world became communist. Before, countries beside America, of course, had more diverse when it comes to the politics. Now it just seems like most countries became Marxist or communist,
Yeah, there's certainly a wave of that, I have to agree with
which
you.
is worse. Because when we have communists dictating our moves, which if they are, it makes every country that follow it fall in order, which makes it worse. China, I mean, how many countries are under the alliance of China?
A lot.
Yeah, so, and they follow them. So, Canada, for example. I feel like we're living in the dark age of it.
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, this is the dark ages of Canada right now.
Of the world.
Yeah. But Canada's never really had to go through a lot. Well, you know, it has, but not to the extent that Trudeau's putting us through.
Mostly we went through a wanting independence back then from Britain and that kind of issue. And now we're just dealing with our own leader, which is, in my opinion, considered worse because that's the person that's supposed to be controlling the country and providing for the citizens, which he's not.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong. Something drastically went wrong. It's like they say, it's part of the plan, the globalist plan, right? So it's been going on for a long time. And these elites, these billionaires, trillionaires, they got the money to promote their narrative, and that's what they're doing.
Yep, and not just that. It's just not the elites. It's the people that vote for these people.
Well, the sheeple.
Yeah, in which there's a lot of them, clearly.
Too many. And you can't sway them. Some do, some you can.
Yeah, remember, the elites need the people to vote for them, so even if they're elites and they don't have people to vote for them, they're kind of useless. It's based on the people.
Well, people should not give that's too much power, right?
No, they shouldn't, but they do.
I'm going to turn this just down a bit. I don't want it to cook that fast. Now I'm going to squish it because I want the middle to cook. Always make sure that the middle of a hamburger is cooked. So I don't know how you do it. You can put knife marks in it or crisscrosses. but this is how I do it. Plus I put a lid over it so the heat gets transferred throughout, not just one side. It's still not right. And a way to test too, like if you go like this, it's rare, and then what is that, medium rare, and then
Rare?
well, no, medium well, and then well done. So you press here, right, like here, and then here you can feel the tension, and then that's really hard.
How do you like your meat done?
Well done.
Medium
Always.
rare here?
Yeah, I don't like blood, so just keep it going. Well, you know, with the threat of bacteria, you want to make sure things are cooked right.
Yeah.
And especially hamburger, because bacteria can hurt. It can be, well, yeah,
So it's ground.
can live within the fabric of the ground beef, right? There's lots of, like a solid piece of meat, how can it get in unless there's a cut?
Yeah, but it's...
But here, it's ground, it's like pieces all put together, so yeah, you can get sick very quickly. So you have to make sure it's cooked. That's why when you make a steak, you sear it both sides, and that's good enough, because there's not going to be something inside unless it's a very old piece of meat, and then you wouldn't eat it anyway.
Exactly.
So I do the videos and let you see the whole process instead of doing like 2 minutes of cook or less than a minute. Like you see a lot of the videos, they just go quickly through everything because people have short attention spans. So my videos are not made for people with short attention spans. So you have to keep that in mind. I'm here to show you the whole process, and that's the idea behind my videos. So all you have to do is fast forward. If it's a bit long and you don't want to hear me talking, or leave. I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I like watching people cook, so.
Yeah, it's
Weirdly smoothing.
I think so too, you know. Like you got people sitting there watching all sorts of videos, right?
What's wrong
Or
with
people listening to the sound, right?
Yeah.
The sound, you know. You have people sitting there all day, brainwashed by TV and listening to mainstream fucking media. Excuse my language. But now another bleep. Yeah, they're getting there now.
Ow.
Turn the heat down again. I'm constantly pressing. And these are thick, so you want to make sure they're cooked properly. Turn the fan off so it's not annoying. I think we're pretty well getting there. What do you think?
This one looks really good. It's really browning oil.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah. Of course.
So olive oil and butter. No, sorry, it's not olive oil and butter. It's olive oil and corn oil for the oil. And then, of course, you'll get fat from the meat. Don't be afraid to cook your meat in oil. Got to be some fat to give it flavor, right? You got these people that are worried about fat and that. Well, just let it drain off.
It's a burger, but
lots of grease everywhere. Okay, so anything else? Well, the truckers are still up on the hill. It's been what, it's around 11 days now or something?
I think so.
What, getting close to 2 weeks. And Trudeau's out there calling them criminals.
Even though they're not doing anything.
And the CBC's out there doing all sorts of bad things. Propaganda, spreading propaganda. Yep. Oh boy, people just don't understand, right? That we need truckers, we need farmers, and we need the military, right?
And we need the workers.
We don't need the cops so much, but we certainly need the military.
Without these people,
and you have to respect it. Cops are cops. They're and nowadays they seem to be more corrupt than ever, and they just, if the mayor says go out and hurt the citizens, they go out and hurt the citizens, and they don't think for themselves. These are the people I'm supposed to be protecting because I took an oath, but they don't. Imagine if soldiers came around and started doing that. Whoa, we got a problem. The Trudeau got the military on them. This is what I'm worried about, because this guy's ruthless. He don't care.
Which he has the right to do, and the soldiers have to follow him.
Yeah.
That's the oath they took.
And then if they don't, they can face court-martial, right?
Yeah. So it's understandable for them. I mean, do they really want to spend jail time and lose their whole career?
But do you really want to go against your own people?
No, you don't. But do you want to lose your career?
No.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't have that ability to afford to lose their career.
It's not a good situation to be in.
It's not.
Okay, they're ready. Damn, they're ready. So, I'm going to clean up. And then we'll be back for the assembly. So we're ready for assembly. And I'm going to open a piece of meat here. I'll cut open the smallest one. And just to show you that it's cooked inside.
Cooked.
There you go. Oh, and you can see the vegetables, I think, right?
Yeah,
Or not, a little bit. Anyway, there you go. So we're ready to go. Let's go. Which one you want? Don't take all day. So the Kaiser was here, and he left us some buns. He baked us some buns.
Nice.
So these are Kaiser buns. I don't toast. I don't like toast. Buns. Other people do. I don't. What do you like?
I don't like a toast.
So we're going with just the bun. These are fresh, so they're going to be nice. Cheese on top. Some people like melted cheese. I don't give a I don't care. Yeah, that word there.
Yeah.
You want 2, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is yours? Or that's yours?
This is mine.
Oh, okay. So you can have 2. And we're going to put the lettuce on last, so let's get some mushrooms. That's our mushroom sauce. It turned out really nicely.
Since I am normal, we don't put mushroom. I mean, not mushroom, tomato.
Yeah, I don't mind tomato, but I'm not going to go and buy tomatoes. I don't eat too much, and then they go to waste. So I used to love tomatoes. Tomatoes this, tomato that.
Disgusting, man.
It's not disgusting.
Disgusting.
Okay, is that enough or more?
Let me see. Maybe one more. I like lettuce.
She's a lettuce eater. You're a rabbit.
Hehe. It is good.
All right. There you go. Squish it down just a bit. How does that look?
Nice. So what is this kind of burger called?
Beef burger. Hamburger. With mushroom sauce. With mushrooms and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good enough for me. Oh, St. Patty's Day is coming.
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
So I got the shamrock out. So there we are. We're done. We're going to sit down and eat now. Be right back. So here we go. We're going to be eating these scrumptious, delicious burgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The book
The book,
that you should read.
Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
All right, Dave Grohl. There we are. Yeah. Well, it's nice display there.
Yeah, but you should read it.
I'm going to. Don't worry. Once I get into it, I'll start.
Maybe in about a year or so.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm gonna take a bite out of this. This is delicious. It's delicious.
Trying to get a starting point here. Okay.
That's a good bite.
Yeah, I know.
So, what do you think?
That is delicious.
Doesn't need anything else. That mushroom sauce is
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
I must take a picture.
Too big a bite. Oh, that's so good. I could wolf that down.
Yeah, no. Don't do that.
Ah, that's good. Water's good. So,
Coke with burger sauce.
you could have ran and got some.
Whatever.
So, this worked out really well. And we got 3 more to go there. So later.
Related.
Yeah. It's great with the mushroom sauce. The real mushrooms. Lettuce. Cheese. It's nice. It's really nice. You have to try it. What?
Should put the recipe down and...
We follow. Pretty detailed. You have to take notes. Taking notes is a good thing.
Yes.
You learn better that way. Mm.
Man's obsessed with his burger.
It's so good. And it's just nicely cooked. Melts in your mouth. It's nice.
I really like the mushrooms.
So, anyway,
Have anything to talk?
well, is there anything in history that you would like to talk about?
Anything in history you like to talk about?
Well, what about World War II?
Which part of World War II you want to talk about?
Let's talk about that time when the Americans said that a German murdered those soldiers.
Melmedi?
Tank commander?
Yeah, Joachim Piper.
Yeah.
During the Melmedi trial. That trial was completely baloney. Because they really had really true evidence. And they were going to send him to death by hanging without proper evidence. Which is completely BS. And the way they treated the prisoners was completely horrible. They used to put black hoods on the prisoner's head, and then would beat them to get a confession out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Piper was once, he claimed, that he was punched in his private part, kicked by the security guards. So the whole thing was completely bad, and the interrogator was completely bad. I mean, there's a whole video on it.
And there's no proof he did anything wrong.
No, I mean, the thing is, in the trial, he confessed he didn't keep anything. He told the truth. And the truth was he was not there during that time, nor given the order to his men to commit those crimes. But he does admit during war and the hatred for the enemies because they saw their own comrades die, they had this hatred against the Americans, so it's their own soldiers' act if there have been any executions. But he did not order anyone to go commit these acts.
Right. So there's a lot of prejudice and bias
And the worst thing is,
during the trial.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
And the way he was murdered was horrible.
Yeah, he was firebombed by French communists, they assumed. I mean, who else would?
Communist, right?
Yeah. They didn't just kill him, they killed his dogs.
Yeah, and what did the dogs do?
Exactly. His body was shrink to 3 foot.
Shrank. Yeah. Shrank to 3 feet. No arms left, right?
No arms nor legs.
Pretty sad.
Yeah. He was defending his household. It was at night.
No one deserves a death like that.
No. I mean, come on, if you think about it, they're cowards to kill an elderly man. So pathetic what they've done.
It's quite a interesting history on the man.
Yeah. He actually saved about 100 Jews.
Yeah. So, anyway, this is really good.
Delicious.
And we're going to finish it off. So, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification button. And we'll see you for the next video. Take care, everybody.